How's it going, everyone? In today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be going through the basics of how to vet any altcoin that you come across. So while you're out there doing your research, trying to find those low cap gems, right? You can definitely, use this video as a guide, as a reference to, double check yourself and make sure that the coins aren't scams, that the allocations are correct, that there's not a ton of inflation going on, as well as just making sure there's actually a community behind it and it's not just some dead project that has no marketing, right? So right now I have all the tabs open that I'm going to be covering today in order, and I might be missing some stuff. This is, kind of just on the fly. I put this together on what I would check off the top of my head, what I think are the main things to be looking out for when you're researching your altcoins. So what I'm going to do here is we're in CMC right now, right? Coin market cap. This is where you're going to want to start when you're looking at these coins. You can also use CoinGecko. I tend to use CoinMarketCap, but CoinGecko, pretty much the same thing, so you can use that if you want. And I'm just gonna scroll through and just find some random coins, and we're gonna look at them, and we'll see if we can come across one that looks good, and we can get through checking all the boxes, so I can show you how that whole process kind of works. So let's go ahead. We'll scroll down here and just go to page 6. Sure, why not? Let's pick one of these random ones. Argo. Have never heard of this coin, but first things first, obviously, we'll just check the chart on CMC here. The chart looks interesting, right? It's been very flat since launch, and it actually launched all the way back in 2018. Didn't really have any crazy blow off tops in 2021, right? It did do 10x, which is fine. And the main thing that's kind of bullish about this is it didn't make a new low from 2021, right? Kept higher lows throughout the macro. It's only down from Pico top, right? It was at 0.5. The bear market low was 0.09. We'll just call it 0.1 there. So it only pulled back around 80%, which isn't terrible. What you want to be looking out for is if a coin's pulled back 95% or more. That's kind of my cutoff. That's what I would consider as a red flag if it's dropped that much. So that looks fine. Now, it hasn't been performing crazy or anything like that. It's only done like a 2x from the bear market lows, but nothing concerns me about this chart. The chart looks fine to me. So chart looks fine. The next thing I want to check real quick just to make sure we have this, because if we don't have this, I'm just going to move on to another coin, but we do for this. It's going to be exchange listings. So what is it listed on? Binance, Coinbase, OKX, and a ton more. It looks like it has 4 pages of exchanges here, so it's listed on pretty much everything. This can be a double-edged sword, right? I like seeing exchange listings for sure. That's like a must. You need exchange listings. But when it's already listed on every single exchange possible, there isn't growth to happen in that sector, right? It doesn't have the potential to get on Coinbase or to get on Binance. It's already on those exchanges. So you're not going to see massive price fluctuations from a exchange listing anymore. It's already going to be all priced in. That being said, with retail returning to the market and them already being listed, you don't have to worry about if those listings are going to happen. They're already there, so that checks out. Not too big of a deal, especially with that lower market cap for being on so many exchanges. So that's fine to see there. Next, we're going to go ahead. We're going to look at market cap and volume and that ratio, right? That ratio is very important. So $82 million market cap with $18 million volume. That is a 22% volume to market cap ratio, and that is very good, right? Anything over 10% is totally acceptable. That's good. Anything over 20% is really good. And if you get more than that, then that's just amazing. A lot of times, because it is a 24-hour volume, it will depend on if the chart's pumping or not, right? If it's an extremely volatile day and the chart's going parabolic, you're gonna have a lot more volume to market cap ratio, right? It could jump to 50% or something crazy like that sometimes, just if it's a parabolic day. So you want to take that into consideration, right? Look at the chart. If it's flat and still has 20% volume to market cap ratio, then very bullish, right? So that all checks out there, right? And then next thing we're going to be looking at is that circulating supply compared to max supply. And as we can see, this is 89%. So that's extremely good, especially for an altcoin. A lot of altcoins have high inflation, so this means the supply cannot get diluted any more than 10% from now. So that all checks out. Obviously you just want to be looking out to see if circulating supply is a lot lower than total supply, and that could potentially be a red flag. Although I will say in a bull run, when stuff starts to go parabolic, even if it has a high inflation rate year over year, if the bull run's lasting 1 month, that month span where it inflates 4%, let's say, isn't going to matter compared to the inflows going into that coin if it's a good project. So inflation is a massive deal if you're buying in a bear market, because bear market coins with high inflation will go down way more than others. But in a bull run, I will say it tends not to matter as much. And since we're in a bull run now, I wouldn't be too concerned about high inflation, but it definitely is something to consider. So next down the list here, we can see this is on the Ethereum blockchain. So that's cool to see. We can see the contract address right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually click on this contract address, and we're going to look at these holders right here. So what we can do is we can go to the token holders chart on Etherscan, right? And we can see what the allocations are. Now, as we can see here, looks like Binance holds the most of the supply, as well as, I'm assuming these are liquidity wallets, that sort of thing. I have no idea what the utility of this token is. So this 55% of the supply being allocated to this one wallet, I'm going to assume has something to do with the utility of the token, especially with it being on all these exchanges. I can almost guarantee it's not a scam or anything like that, right? This wallet probably just has something to do with the utility, whether it's a bridge wallet or who knows what. But that's something you'd probably want to look into. Of course, go to their Telegram group and ask them what this wallet is used for, right? So that's absolutely something I would do if I was part of this token. It's not a red flag, but I would want to know what it's used for, right? What's the utility of this wallet? Why does it have 55% of the supply? So you'd want to figure that out. Other than that, it just looks like, exchanges are holding it, right? Upbit, Binance, KuCoin, so nothing major there. All these wallets that are locked on smart contract. And if you can see, there's like this little paper thing next to the address, and it says contract on it. That means that it is locked up in a smart contract. So this stuff is locked for a certain amount of time. Now, how much time is this liquidity locked up for? Well, we can actually get into that right now, and we can figure out the exact time frame that liquidity is locked up for, the exact dollar amount that the liquidity is, and that'll be very good to know. So what we'll do is we'll go back to CMC here, all right, close out of Etherscan, and we'll go ahead and we'll copy this contract right here. We'll then jump over here to Dex Tools, and we will put this contract into Dex Tools. Now, if it's a layer 1, you will not see the token on Dex Tools, and obviously it's going to be fine to buy layer 1s, stuff on other chains, stuff that is on smaller chains and that sort of thing. It's fine buying those. Just make sure you have the exchange listings, because the exchange listings will tell you for sure that it's been audited and this sort of thing. You can also check, audit sites as well, just to make sure that it's not a scam or anything like that. But anyway, Argo over here on Dex Tools. Now we have the liquidity here is 13K, and it does not detect a liquidity lock at all. So obviously this is because it's locked some other way. There's more complexity to this token than just being able to go on Dex Tools and check the liquidity lock. It's not that big of a deal. It's on tier 1 exchanges. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Token Sniffer, because it is an Ethereum coin. Let's see if we can get some more information about that lockup from Token Sniffer. There's a good chance we won't be able to, but just to see, this is something you would want to check. And we can see that it gives it a 0 out of 100 score. And we can see that it's giving us a bunch of red flags now. But the fact that this thing has only been on Dex Tools since 2021 tells me that this did not start off as an Ethereum coin. So there's more to the story than is being told here, right? Like I said, this is just some random coin that I found. So going through Dex Tools on it, I guess, is not an option. But just, remember, Binance and Coinbase have listed this thing. They have done their own audits. So nothing to worry about there, but just to have shown you that is something I do check for a coin if it's on the Ethereum layer, because it can tell you if something looks a little sketchy or off. Clearly, this thing is just not native to Ethereum, so there's more to the story there. And we're going to move right on to the biggest, most important thing, which we kind of already looked at here, but I want to look at it more in depth, and that's going to be the chart. because I'm a big charting guy. I care about the chart more than really anything. So ergo, and we'll go to the Binance chart. It launched on Binance 2023, May of 2023, so fairly new coin. It is making, I guess you could say, a double top formation. Do I expect this top to play out? I could not tell you because I don't really know anything about the coin. But with market conditions, I mean, most coins are breaking double top structures like this, especially because we have not had a very far extended parabola from the lows, right? Now, what I would want to do is I'm just going to copy this over because that chart doesn't give us a ton of info. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to look up Ergo again, and we're going to go to a different exchange, right? Let's try KuCoin, right? I'm sure KuCoin has launched it before some of these other ones. And would you look at that? KuCoin actually launched it all the way back in September of 2021, so you can get a little bit more data here. What I would do is I would go to some of my tools and I'd pull a fixed range volume profile of the entire range, something like that, and then I would get out my horizontal line and I would just start marking out these levels, right, the ones that matter, and then I'm going to just keep kind of messing with this and getting big volume levels that I think will be potentially important to be looking at. So if we go pull it from there potentially, right, you can see that level is probably something to keep note of. I'm essentially just pulling this from highs to current price, right? So big important highs like right there. We can see this level. That's what it's been struggling with locally, right? Now you have what I can see here is that we have gotten a rejection once off this value area high. We came down, swung under value area. We have back tested this value area as support. So because we have that supportive structure, I think on this third tap, it's really going to go for it. And we should be able to flip this back into support, this value area high. So with current price being so close to this value area high, if I were going to buy this, I would actually be okay buying it higher, right? So what I would want to see, I would want to see it get back above value area, right? This is your value area line extending here. And I would want to see that hold as support. As soon as I saw it hold as support, I'd be entering on that hold. It would probably make some sort of double bottom, something like that, and then go parabolic. That's how structures tend to play out. So that's how I would approach this, just based off the chart, right? I would wait for it to break this value area high, buy it on the back test, and then you're off to the races. Overall, though, this chart does look good. Nothing's concerning me about the chart. What you just want to be watching out for is if a chart's just struggling to make any sort of higher highs and it just looks like this, right? It just looks dead. You don't want to buy anything that looks like that. You also probably don't want to buy something that has done something like this, right? If this had already come up here and then maybe pulled back like that, it looks, something like this, right? Just completely parabolic. And then what you had was the same kind of bearish divergence we're seeing now after something this extreme has happened. You obviously just don't want to be buying high here, right? You would probably want to go ahead, just pull a golden pocket from the lows, right? Just like this, and you'd be looking to enter somewhere in this range here. So, obviously just don't be buying highs, wait for it to pull back. So those are the two kind of charts I would be holding off on. Dead coins you don't want to be touching at all, and coins that have gone parabolic, you want to wait for a pullback, right? Should be pretty common sense, but that's something you definitely want to look out for. That's the chart. It all checks out in my opinion. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to something a little bit different. Some of you guys might not have known about this site. It is really good for finding coins and checking token allocation, that sort of thing. And this is going to be ICO Drops. So this is where you can find ICOs to invest in. Now, would I buy any ICOs? Absolutely not. I don't buy ICOs because I don't want my funds to be locked up. There are certain scenarios where you might find some awesome, project that you've already been looking into and you've wanted to buy their ICO, and it's well into the bear market, and you get into an ICO early. That can be okay because you'll have time for your coins to be unlocked before the bull market. Buying into ICOs now, especially when your money is going to be locked up past launch, is not a good idea because you're going to end up being stuck in this coin until the crash, You're not going to be able to get out of the coin at its highs, whereas if you just wait for a coin to launch, yes, you might be buying higher than the ICO price, but you can sell it whenever you want, and I much prefer that. I like the freedom of just being able to sell it, just to buy it wherever. You can also give the chart time to form some sort of structure because, again, the chart is extremely important. The chart's the most important factor when buying a coin. So why buy an ICO that has no chart at all? It's kind of like a gamble. So then why am I on ICO Drops? And the reason is because you can look at past ICOs. So if we go look at Argo, again, I have no idea if this is going to show up, but I can bet you it will. Most coins have an ICO drop page, and this one does. So distributed trust at scale. Okay, sounds somewhat interesting. Let's get into what I care about, and that's going to be these screenshots here. They save screenshots of what was published when this ICO launched, and we can get into some of this stuff. So I don't care about that, don't care about that. A lot of the stuff I don't really care about. We see that they have a team that is on LinkedIn. That's always great to see. That's kind of, a must for me, right? I want to see a doxed team. I want to be able to look at their LinkedIn profiles. That's good to see. We'll actually look at that in their website later on when we go check that out. Key backers, right? Partnerships, that sort of thing. Now, what I don't see here is what I wanted to see, and that was token allocations. What were the pre-sale allocations of this ICO? Because they've raised $30 million. Where did this go? And who holds this supply, right? Now, that being said, this doesn't matter because the coin's been launched in 2018. So any of those venture capitalists that were invested probably already sold in the last bull market. So does this really apply to this token? No, but I'm just showing it to you because you will see most coins have had their ICO between 2021 to 2024, and that matters more because those venture capitalists still hold the supply, and you'll want to check the allocations. So what I want to do, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about, so we'll just go to some ICO that's already ended. We'll just click a random one, Star Heroes, whatever. You'll see tokenomics, and this is where you'll see the allocations. So as you can see here, what was the amount given to the foundation, the seed round, right? Early contributors, public sale, treasury, for the operational supply, what's locked in the war chest, whatever that is, and then the liquidity. And then you can see vesting over here. This is the amount of time that it's locked up for, what the linear unlock period is. So this is always good to be looking at, especially in a bear market, right? We're not in a bear market, so does this matter as much? No, but it's always good to look at this because if you're buying a coin that had an ICO 4 months ago, and those ICO allocations had a 4-month cliff, which essentially means after 4 months it gets unlocked, and it gets unlocked at a high rate. Well, you don't want to be buying it 4 months after the launch because that is when all these venture capitalists are going to get their supply unlocked, and there's going to be a lot of downside pressure from people dumping their reallocated funds. So something to look into just to make sure you don't get caught in a situation like I just gave you. But back to this other token, Ergo, obviously it doesn't apply to this because it was launched in 2018. So what we'll do is go all the way back to CMC, and I want to check their website, right? So we're onto their website now. We're going to see what it's all about. The blockchain for the world, Argo, the blockchain for everyone. Okay, don't care. That's very generic. Decentralized applications, blah, 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 blah. So this is all fine. It's whatever. Obviously, you're going to want to choose coins that you like, that have fundamentals that you like. I'm not here to go over fundamentals and tell you what fundamentals are good about a coin because it's going to be different for every project and it's all very subjective. I'm here to give you the objective things you're going to be looking out for. And what is that going to mainly be on a website like this? Well, it's going to be just checking to make sure the devs are doxed. So we'll go ahead and we'll click on their LinkedIn down here. Looks like they have their business LinkedIn with their employees listed right here. So this is great to see. You can see their past work experience, that sort of thing. So all checks out. I'm not going to go through all these people's profiles, but just so you know, LinkedIn's are something you're going to want to check just to make sure that the people developing it are legitimate, know what they're doing, and aren't just in over their head making a blockchain project that they know nothing about. So that's LinkedIn, right? We're going to go ahead. We're going to get off. Looks like they also have a YouTube channel. So, you know, you could go through this. Obviously, since they have a YouTube channel, we see some AMAs in here, right? They haven't had one in a while, but it probably would be worth going back and watching this whole AMA, especially if you're going to put a lot of money into this project, just to learn everything you can about it. And then looks like they have a Telegram, right? I'm not going to be going into their Telegram, but definitely want to add the Telegram, see what the community's like, make sure they have people talking in their Telegram. That's always good to see. They have, you know, Reddit, GitHub. We'll go check their GitHub. Just kind of generically look at this. Make sure it is, you know, here, right? Look at past repositories. Looks like, you know, 2 weeks ago they were updating repositories, so that's all fine. They, you know, they have been working on the GitHub, so that's good to see. So yeah, all that objective stuff looks good on this coin. Nothing really too big of a deal here. Obviously, you probably want to look at allocations on a website. Since this was launched in 2018, I don't think they have allocations on their website, but most coins will, you know, pre-allocated funds. Tokenomics is what it would be under on a website. And then obviously fundamentals are going to be subjective. So that's all I'm going to use the website for in this video. We're going to go back to CMC. And lastly, I want to look at their Twitter. Let's see what's going on the Twitter, right? So it looks like they're followed by someone that I follow, so that's interesting to see. So they're definitely not, you know, nobodies in the space, right? But people do know about this project. So how often do they post? Looks like, you know, 8 days ago was their last post. They post, you know, roughly once a week or so. So not a ton of, you know, posts on their Twitter. They're not very active. But it's not that big of a deal, right? It's a very professional team. They don't have to be, you know, active every single day. It's not a meme coin that's just based off of getting that engagement on Twitter, right? They're going to have more avenues of marketing, right? They probably have their own marketing team. They're on the big exchanges. So not the end of the world here, but the more engagement you have on Twitter, the more real engagement you have, right? You want to check the comments, make sure there is real engagement here. This all looks fine to me. It's not botted, right? You want to be checking to make sure it's not just a bunch of botted replies and that sort of thing. But everything looks very healthy here. Healthy amount of followers. So the Twitter checks out. You know, it all looks good. So the main stuff I really wanted to cover there, right? We covered the chart. We covered CoinMarketCap. We covered Twitter, by the way. You know, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. It's just a bunch of mog bull postings. I'm an OG mogger, so you know, go ahead and follow me there if you want some memes. So yeah, that's going to be all for this video. I hope you guys learned something about how to research altcoins. It's a very quick thing you can do. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll go ahead and see you all in the next one.